When I was a young man and I thought of Dodge, this is what I thought of: the Ram. But I grew up in a rural area in Idaho and didn't really think about Dodge. But today I learned something. Have you ever seen the movie Caddie Shack? I have. That's my hat. Caddie Shack is great. It's the classic snobs versus slobs movie where they overcome. Well, I learned a story about two brothers in Michigan. Coming up next, you'll see the Grosse Pointe Country Club. Now, the Grosse Pointe Country Club refused the two brothers' entry, even though they were insanely wealthy. So, what do you do when you're insanely wealthy and the country club won't let you in? Well, you buy a parcel of land next door and build a completely ostentatious mansion. The brother said, "I want to make the country club look like a hovel." And so he put a 12-car garage in, made as much noise, and built a gigantic mansion to show him. Yeah, you're right. It's John and Horace Dodge, the Dodge brothers. They were amazing machinists, and they wouldn't let them into the country club because they would drink and cavort with their workers. So they also bought the opera and the symphony. Anyway, early in their career, they worked for Oldsmobile. If you don't remember Oldsmobile, it got absorbed by GM and then finally died a gnarly death in 2008 financial crisis. They then went to work building essentially powertrains for one of the more famous men in history. Not that guy, that's Chrysler, that's a different story. But no, this guy. He was said to invent the assembly line, but he didn't. He just kind of refined it, which, history lied to me. All these years it lied. Anyway, he went to the Dodge brothers because they were such great machinists, and he ordered powertrains from them. But because Henry Ford did other things besides invent the Model T, he lost money. He couldn't afford to pay the Dodge brothers. So they came to an agreement where they ended up with 10% of the Ford Motor Company, which was advantageous for them. They invested $10,000. It eventually became $32 million at the time, which is an astronomical sum of money after inflation. Eventually, they had their falling out classically with Henry Ford, and they went into business for themselves. That's July 17th, 1914, which is an Independence Day for the Dodge brothers. They came out with the Model 30 and a ton of other cool rigs in different colors with more horsepower. And to the day, Dodge still kind of embodies that. What we have here is the 392 Scat Pack. You see, pound for pound, Dodge still produces the most powerful road-going vehicles on the market, especially for the price. So if you too are in the armed services and want a car that goes very fast, or just a regular old Joe who wants a car that goes very fast, built by guys who actually knew their employees by name and would go get in bar fights and cavort and were rejected by society, you too should look into a Dodge product. Now they are owned by Fiat, who is quickly trying to ruin this spirit